Hello, lovely souls. My name is Jackie, and welcome to the RavenRabbit Wellness Studio podcast. I'm an enrolled member of the Washoe Tribe of California, Nevada. I have always been deeply connected to the unseen spiritual world since I was a child. I wouldn't say that my spiritual awakening can be pinpointed to one specific date, time, or event, but rather it was a natural unfolding over my lifetime. And I want to share that journey with you to let you know that your spiritual awakening is divinely guided. If you want help with self-worth and self-doubt, then this is the place for you. I took baby steps to change my life and heal from anxiety, depression, and self-doubt. Ultimately, I built RavenRabbit in my quest to help others like you do the same. I am a metaphysical minister, energy healer, and intuitive coach. In this podcast, I draw on metaphysical principles, I read energy, and I intuitively guide our conversation with the holistic, indigenous, spiritual approach to life, healing, and happiness. Stick around to explore the unseen, navigate metaphysics to live your life to the fullest, be the happiest version of yourself, and to deeply heal from what holds you back. Hello, lovely souls. Thank you so much for tuning in for episode 16 of the RavenRabbit Wellness Studio podcast. I'm your host, Jackie Coe. I've extended my title. We don't always have to say it, but it's exciting. You know, I earned it. I am a doctor of education, so it's where the doctor comes from. I'm a reverend of metaphysics, so formally Reverend Dr. Jackie Coe. I worked really hard on those in the past few years. I got my doctorates in 2020, finished my metaphysics minister studies this last summer in 23. So it's just been exciting earning those and working towards those goals. And that's what I want to talk about today. Goals versus manifestation. We are ringing in a new year. And a lot of times you may have already set your New Year's goals, your New Year's resolutions, and I want to talk about shifting our mindset around those things that we say, such as New Year's resolutions and New Year's goals. And I have always been a big setter of those. I love setting New Year's resolutions and goals. I know there's been a big fad right now, like, are we doing resolutions or not? I'm shifting mine completely. I wrote them completely differently this year, and I want to share about what that change was and how I did it. So I'm swapping out New Year's goals / resolutions with New Year manifestations. These New Year's manifestations, I'm dreaming big, and I'm breaking those dreams down into doable steps for me into the quarter system. So I have Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. And this is all stuff, I've meditated on it. I've heard some stuff on TikTok, and then I take it and I intuitively make it my own and make it work for me. So why the swap? Why am I swapping out New Year's resolutions for New Year's manifestations? It's because it is the dead of winter. Winter is a time when we're supposed to be relaxing, recharging, rejuvenating, resting. We're not supposed to be making huge changes in winter. We're supposed to be going within, being in the home, being in shelter, and resting. So to make these huge resolutions and these huge goals and to dive right into them in the middle of winter doesn't always align naturally. And I'm all about holistic healing and holistic well-being. So how can we fix that? What could we do? Because January 1st comes around and it's kind of in our head like, we're going to do some changes. We're going to do something different. And I still like that mentality. I still like that it's a new year calendar-wise. But we do need to be cognizant about the fact that it is winter. So this year, I completely changed it. I made my manifestations. I have 12 big ones. They're pinned up on my board above me, and they're also taped into my journal so I can write about them. So I have them in two places that I can easily view my manifestations. And I changed my time frame. So I wasn't worried about making the manifestations before January 1st. I have been sitting on these during the first week because we're resting, we're reflecting, and I came up with these manifestations around the first week of our new year. I printed them. I made them cute because it's me. I've got ravens on them. and they're posted. And then from there, I set a timeline for some of these goals to be launching with the spring equinox. So I'm going to sit back, I'm going to write, I'm going to reflect, I'm going to make a plan. And then from that plan, I'm going to launch it, and it's going to get going in the spring because that more naturally aligns with growth and change. So I was going to read some of mine so we could start getting an idea, and we can kind of break them apart. So let me look at my journal here. One of my big manifestations for this year, it's my word, is alignment. So the manifestation is I live in perfect alignment. And I have 2 affirmations that go along with the manifestation. And it says, my mind, body, and spirit and emotions are in perfect alignment. So I'm thinking of that medicine wheel aspect, that holistic approach. And I'm deeply connected to universal source. So it's much different from a resolution. The words we use in a resolution or a goal is, I want to be in perfect alignment. My goal is to be in perfect alignment. The difference between manifestations and goals is that when we speak of a manifestation and we think about it as already being. So here it is. I live in perfect alignment. There's no argument or a way around it. That's what's happening for me. And then my affirmations go along with it. I wrote the 2 affirmations to go along with the manifestation so that I could really embody my manifestation. Let me read them again. My mind, body, spirit, and emotions are in perfect alignment because I wanted to get more specific as to what was in alignment. And I'm deeply connected to universal source. That is my manifestation. This doesn't just happen on January 1st and become a big change. This is something that will happen throughout the year and throughout my spiritual journey. But it's a focus this year. I'm focusing on making sure I do things and pick things that are in perfect alignment. Same with the rest of my manifestations. This was like my first one, because then from there, I went and did my other manifestations. So let's go to a different one. Some of them are personal, so I'm keeping them to myself because like I said, there's 12, but there's some really great ones I'm sharing here. Here's another one. I have big plans, big dreams, big aspirations, and the universe is constantly supporting me. That's my manifestation. I do have really big dreams with my business. I have the podcast I work on. My big thing that I'm making sure in alignment is what's going to come out in the spring, which is my digital courses. Those are a big dream. My coaching that I do and the products that I sell. So those are big plans and big dreams. And I have to remember the universe is constantly supporting me. I wouldn't be getting those dreams if they weren't meant for me. And so my 2 affirmations that go along with that, I am living my big dreams. I am my big aspirations. So you could start hearing the difference between these manifestations versus resolutions and goals. Some goals don't ever get accomplished because they're set into that future mindset. I want to. I will. You don't put like a timeline on them. These are all for 2024. So at the top of my little thing, it says 2024 manifestations and affirmations. Like this has to happen in 2024. I've now put a deadline on it. Sometimes when we set those goals, you'll notice by spring, definitely summer, you might have dropped off and forgotten all about your New Year's resolutions or goals. That's because they're meant for right then and there at the beginning of the new year. We're looking further than that, and we're trying to plan ahead with our quarters, and we're trying to sustain the energy and the motivation in a natural way. So what I wrote here in my notes today is it's about finding balance. Balance is what it's all about. When you have balance, systems, and routines, New Year's goals aren't always necessary. The main one we all think about, I want to lose weight and get in shape. I want to save money. These are some of the ones that we constantly set every year, and then year after year, we don't accomplish them. But if you start creating a system and a routine around those goals, the next year you won't have to set that goal because it'll already be a part of your life. So I have a lot of systems and goals and systems and routines already in place from my past years of always setting resolutions. And they're just a part of my life. In my life, we eat healthy. We work out. Those are just natural things for me. They're built within my system. They're not something I have to think about and set a resolution around. My resolutions are now manifestations, and they're big. They're very big manifestations. So, when you have those routines in place, we can move away from the typical New Year's goals and focus on those large manifestations because you already have a routine that makes you feel great and gives you that balance, mind, body, and soul, and emotions. So that's where I took mine one step beyond. It's not that I need to heal my mind, body, spirit, and goal. I need to make sure it's in alignment. So that's how I shifted it this year. Because a lot of my past goals through my 20s were about healing. I just didn't know it at the time as I went through it, but it's easy to label it as that now. Let's keep going on my manifestations for this year. Here's my other big one. I am so deeply connected to the universal source, and it is apparent to those I serve, and I give them the same ability in their lives. So that's a big business goal, making sure that my connection to universal source is I'm using it of service and I'm teaching others how to do it themselves, because that's one of my biggest things with RavenRabbit and working in the spiritual realm. All of this is within you, and you are totally capable of doing anything that I'm doing or any other spiritual person that you're following or interested in. You can do those things as well. We all have that power. So I wrote my affirmations along with that. I'm deeply connected to those I serve. That's something I want to manifest and affirm. Lives change because of the work done through me, as I am a perfect channel. So making sure that I'm always in alignment, I'm a perfect channel, and I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Big goal for me in my business. And that's that comes from a lot of studying about how I want to change and run business. I'm moving away from typical business norms. I do have a business management degree, and I was taught all the basics of running a business because I had an emphasis in entrepreneurship in my formal Western academic studies. And this manifestation is just eons away from what I was taught in that program, which is good. I know my basic stuff. I needed to learn accounting and the basic marketing things and all the basic stuff so that I can turn around and say, what aligns with me? What aligns in my business and for me and for my clients, so that I could do business completely differently. So, big one for RavenRabbit here. Okay, here's a little bit more of it's not ego, but it's very material. Here's a material one I have. I'm thankful that I own a reliable new truck that tows my dream Airstream trailer so that all my camping experiences are top notch. I love to get out into nature. We already do have a car. It's just an SUV like Chevy. And we have a used pop-up tent. I love it. It's great. I get to go camping. And we're going at the end of the month to Joshua Tree. So I'm super excited about that. This is my manifestation though. I want a new reliable truck, and it's going to tow my Airstream. So that is my more material manifestation, and my affirmations that go with it, because there's a reason why. I love to be in my trailer camping and writing, and I travel as often as I like is my other affirmation. I want to just be able at any moment to say, hey, let's go here, let's do that. And again, I'm using some words I shouldn't be. I say I want to. I am. That's the life that I lead and live. So, moving on. Another big one for this year. I'm thankful that at the end of 2024, I have the perfect work-life balance, fully autonomous and successful. That's a big business one and personal one for me. I work when I am inspired and rest when I need to, is my affirmation. And I truly impact my clients' lives. So I hope you're starting to hear the difference. That's why I want to share these. It's a little vulnerable, but it's also exciting because it's really big time moving away from our typical resolutions that can be completely off the wall and may not relate to each other. I haven't posted it yet, but I have this vision board worksheet here, and it goes over our basics. So this took a lot of brainstorming before I even got to this point. I did some brainstorming around health, love, family, career. There's 2 pages here. Friendships, spirit, emotions, and mind. Then from all those notes and narrowing down and meditating, because I got to connect to source on whether it's intuitively coming or if it's my ego coming through. And I'm going to break those down. And so I'm still not done with all of this because it wasn't all done before January 1st, and that's totally okay. Breaking down your visions into goals. And I have my quarters marked off here. So quarter 1 is January through March. And so I know with me and my big dreams, my big aspirations, that I live them, those goals go around me launching my courses that are going to come with the spring equinox. So 1 course right now. I have lots of courses written down and brainstormed and outlined, but I'm going to have a complete one to launch in March. That's Q1 for me, because that's going to be a lot of work. Q2, April through June. That's when I can start working on some of my other aspirations here and manifestations. And so it goes on like that. We got Q3, which is July through September, and Q4, October through December. So those are my manifestations broken down into goals. From there, I also created these sheets, January manifestation, and I just went through every month because we do fluctuate. So these were big things that I'm thinking overall manifest in my life, huge dreams. But every month life fluctuates, it ebbs and flows. And so with the ebbs and flows, I have these monthly manifestation pages. And it's I want to manifest and then blank. Because we never know what we might go through in a month. So we can reflect and say, what do I need to change this month? The next box is my prayer to the universe. Then there's some visualization work in here. In the visualization work, it says, I see blank. I have blank. I feel blank. I have monthly affirmations, 3, in which you would write yourself, and then 3 action plan items to help you get you to that manifestation. I'm going to post all of these into my website so that you can get those. I'll connect them for when you register subscribe to my email list. So those will be there for you to take advantage of for free. So you just subscribe to my emails, and then it'll give you a link and you can download the vision board work. And it's okay if you have not started. I know it's January 9th and you're thinking, I already missed it. I didn't do my New Year's resolutions. Or I've already made them. They're set in stone. It's okay to change them. You can meditate around them and make up your mind about what's important and what's not, and shift. That's the beauty of winter. The real change doesn't need to come until that spring equinox time when we're going to bloom into and grow into those manifestations. Another thing I wanted to share with our new year manifestations is something that I created. It's a bit more fun. It's not so serious. I made bingo cards for every month. So this is another thing. You can subscribe. You'll get the link to go to your spiritual bingo card. So each bingo card has different tasks, and they're for a certain reason. So the first January bingo card is to help bring you closer to your higher self and raise your vibration. So all those activities are surrounded by that. Let me read you some of the ones I've already completed. I have done end the day off with gratitude journaling. I've done that. Listen to a spiritual podcast. I've done that. I've used essential oils in my diffuser, and I played music to heal my soul. February is a about opening your heart chakra and letting the love flow. So these tasks are based off of those. So I have use a crystal on your heart chakra. Write down 3 things you love. Give yourself love affirmations. Listen to love songs. So you can see the theme in that. And so the point of this spiritual bingo is 2 reasons. It's for if you're a person who's never done anything very spiritual and you'd like to get started and have no idea where, these are really simple things that you could start. And you can start learning about. Like if you don't know how to use a crystal on your heart chakra, you could reach out, look through RavenRabbit, and reach out to me. We can have a podcast about that. Or you can just get a really great crystal healing book and a chakra healing book and start reading about it. The second person that this is for somebody who might be way deep in their spiritual journey and they need to shake it up a bit. Maybe you've been doing the same spiritual routine for years and you were looking for something a little different. You want to expand. So it's for you as well. Because maybe you used to do one of these things. Let's say maybe you used to use your essential oils all the time and you completely forgot about them and you have to remind yourself to get back into them. So that's who these bingo cards are for. March bingo, it aligns with our spring equinox. So we're going into spring equinox with intention and sweetness, because we think about all the flowers blooming and the nectar and the maple syrup. So it's about sweetness. I have on here, create a spring equinox altar, unthaw with vinyasa flow yoga, drink hot tea. So, my favorite one, find a tree to talk with. So those are March. April is about thinking about our medicine wheel and indigenous culture. These tasks will focus your mind, body, emotion, and spirit. So those are to bring you closer to that balance. Yeah, so if you're interested in those, I'd love to see you download these and start sharing which tasks you've completed, how you completed them. You can keep them on your desk or altar, and as you mark things off, you could put a little tiny crystal on them until you get 5 in a row for bingo. I've been also using my pen and writing the date, if I did it right then and there, of when I completed a task. So these are some things I'm sharing. These are things to get you on your path this new year. We have our spiritual monthly bingo. We have our vision board, which I will be posting shortly. And thinking about your New Year's manifestations. What is it that you're going to manifest this year? And so our big takeaway from today is that manifestations are so much different from our typical New Year's resolutions or New Year's goal setting. Manifestations are spoken words, and we're saying them and thinking them as already being. They already exist. We already have it. We're already living in that state of mentality. The whole point, too, something important to bring up is when we manifest, the fact that one of my material things was the reliable truck with a Airstream trailer. It's not so much about having the thing. It's about the feeling that the thing gives you. And so that's why I wrote my affirmations too that go along with it. Because the reason I love camping is I love to be in the trailer, in the campsite, and it clears my mind. I'm connected to nature and I can write. That is when things just start flowing out of me. So it's that feeling of creativity that comes with camping. I don't need the things that I'm saying here. These are just what I think would elevate that creativity even more. And then the other feeling is I like the idea of traveling whenever I want. That feeling is freedom. So I'm chasing the feeling of creativity and I'm chasing the feeling of freedom. And so for me to be able to break that down and know what that is, I've done a lot of work to get to that point. Why do I really want X, Y, and Z? What does it really bring me? And the great thing about feelings is you don't have to wait. You can get those things right now. If I want to feel creative There are some elements in there. I'm in nature and I'm in a new place. I could do that easily. I could go out to my deck, sit in nature. I'm outside of my home, so it's a little bit different. And that creativity might start to flow. I also like to being able to be free. I can start setting the boundaries for freedom for myself right now. Nothing's stopping me. I could start saying no to certain things that might be a time constraint, which I've already started doing. And make sure I focus on some free time to go to the hike, to go to a beach, to try a new restaurant, just to do little things within the area close to me that help give me that sense of freedom, which we did last weekend for my birthday. And it was wonderful. It did feel very freeing. So when you write your manifestations, I want you to write your manifestation, write some affirmations that go along with it, and then really ask yourself, why do I want that? Why am I manifesting that? What feeling comes with having whatever I just manifested? And really start deeply analyzing those things. So way more reflective, way deeper. We're not surface level anymore with New Year's resolutions like, I want to be fit. I want you to dig deep as into why you might be setting that manifestation. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure you go subscribe to my emails on RavenRabbit.com. That way you can get a link to these free resources and start your spiritual journey, refresh your spiritual journey, and really start thinking about what you're going to manifest this year. Thank you. With love and light, have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for listening. Expand the life, healing, and happiness of others in your field by sharing this episode. You can get more of my content and other helpful tips by following RavenRabbit LLC on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Be sure to comment on Spotify and answer the episode's question so I can keep creating content you love and desire. Thank you so much.